Hey everybody, it's Frank. You don't see my face because I'm showing you one of the games I play. This is called Hearts of Iron. It's actually Hearts of Iron 4. But this is a game based on World War II, and you actually take charge of one of the... Actually, any of the nations that were actually at war. This is one of my first playthroughs playing, guess what? Haha. I've never played the United States of America. I always think it's cheating. But no. So anyway. There's so many things in this game that you can do, so... First, unfortunately, I gotta play as this guy right here. FDR. The guy that was elected 4 times. Anyway... So right now it's July 26th, 1940. I start this game off in January 1st, 1936. So I've been building up the United States' infrastructure, construction. You come in here and you actually build all the military factories, supply lines. You can see I'm actually building a couple of military factories. And you also have research. Yeah, so this is where you get better equipment. Trade if you need different materials, but we're the United States, we're so loaded. Here's where you're actually building your actual units that you need. You actually have to have logistics. I'm gonna turn the volume down here. You actually have like music that's actually from the era. I think that's actually pretty cool. So here you actually recruit your actual divisions. This is your logistics template saying, alright, this is all the materials that you need to fight this war. You got officer corps. Like here's your government tab. You got different type of laws that you actually implement. Here's your events and decisions. As the United States, it's actually funny because you're a quote-unquote democratic country. I have to have certain Senate support and House support. As you can see right now, we can we can basically pass any law that we want. So you actually have to take these actions here to actually get that done here. And you can only do so many things. So right now, I'm not actually at war. I'm actually building my infrastructure. Here's the bad boy. The German Reich has actually gone at war. Taking over Poland, France. It's taking over Norway. Iceland, which is kind of crazy. And they're starting to take over northern Africa. They actually have the Suez Canal right now. That's actually bad news for the Allies. So Vinci, France. See what's going on here down here in Africa here. It looks like the United Kingdom is actually trying to take over portions of the Italian Empire. And oh look, India. No, it's not India. It's called the British Raj. At the time, England controlled India. Yeah, no, isn't that crazy? They actually had a ton of divisions from India fight in the war. Actually, in the First World War as well. And the Soviet Union, they're just building up their communist BS. They have a lot of men, but when Germany declares war on, which will probably be in about a year's time frame in this game. And Japan already invaded Japan, or Japan already invaded Japan. That'd be funny. Japan invaded China. And yeah. It's actually going pretty well for them, unfortunately. Kind of rooting for China here, although we shouldn't be rooting for China, right? But anyway, in this game, we want them to at least slow down the Japanese advance. And yeah, they're already making their way through. Yeah, they're making their way through here pretty good. Looks like they're going to have an encirclement here, looks like, pretty soon. Yeah. So if Japan gets to this area here, it's probably going to be pretty bad. But you won't have to worry about them for some time. Anyway, I'm not sure if Japan is going to... I'm not sure if Japan's going to come and take out... This is how Japan came the first time around. That's actually Honolulu. Pearl Harbor's down here. And I don't have my fleet there actually right now. Here's my fleet command. We got Nimitz. What a guy. Bull Halsey. Yeah, we got some... These are the men that actually did... These are the men that did shit. Pardon my French. But we got Dwight E. Eisenhower right now as our main general. We got Omar Bradley. Great infantry leader. And we got the man, the myth, and the legend, George Patton. That guy kicked ass. Sorry. These men here really put us into... whipped us in shape to win this war. So we'll see how this game goes. I'm training a bunch of divisions. I got a Detroit Arsenal over here. This is the hometown right here. Got a whole bunch of divisions ready to go down here. They're training. For what? We don't know. So we don't know where the attack's going to come from. Most likely not from Germany. Most likely from Japan. If you guys don't know a lot about history of how this war started. Yeah, they talk about Germany. Yeah. You know, they were the big bad boy. But for us... I don't like this song here. What the heck? Sorry, guys. I got... let me change something here. Here, we'll change the music here. So for the United States, we all... You know, we're all told... You know, Japan came... Yeah, and they did attack Pearl Harbor, but... There's a reason why they attacked Pearl Harbor. So a couple years before the war started off, the United States actually had an oil embargo because Japan got most of its oil from the United States. So when they did that, Japan didn't have much of a choice because the only way that they could actually project power was they actually needed oil. So basically we did that, and we kind of knew that they would, you know, they would do something. So the United States was picking for a fight. I mean, like I said, United States ain't perfect by any means. FDR wanted to get us in the war, so you can put your tinfoil hat on if you want. But I kind of wonder if Pearl Harbor was one of the a false flag. Either way, we basically were egging Japan to attack us one way or the other. We didn't expect what they did. Japan came and attacked. It was like basically on the same day. They came, they attacked poor little Philippines because guess what? The United States actually controlled the Philippines actually through the Spanish-American War. We kicked their butts so bad. We got the Philippines, and if you guys don't know, we actually took Guam over. Where's Guam? Through that war. I think that's Wake Island. Where's Guam? Here we go. There's Guam right there. Couldn't find it. All these Japanese islands. Yeah, that's Guam. So we got Guam, the Philippine Islands, and interesting enough, we actually had, what was it? Like I think we got, yeah, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. Yeah, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So it's actually funny because the Spanish-American War actually started in Havana Bay. And you start reading about that, and you wonder if that was a false flag. So that because Teddy Roosevelt, or I'm sorry, not Teddy Roosevelt. He wanted to go to war, but it looks like the. Oh man, what ship blew up in Havana Harbor? I should know this. I know my history pretty good, but anyway, I'm going all over the map here with World War II. But anyway. Yeah, this game's pretty good. If you want a in-depth World War II game, it's pretty crazy because you know you got these actual leaders. You know, you go in here and you actually add your army and then army group. Like even the government, you actually have like these you got these advisors. These are all historically based. And like right now, look at that. I got General Motors. Yeah, but you can see the benefit. They actually give factory output, industrial speed. So yeah, this is one of those games where you have a lot of decisions to make. Each one can affect the outcome of the war or your country or how it happens. So right now, let's take a look at, just for you guys to understand. There he is, the British Bulldog, Winston Churchill. Yeah, he got us in World War I, but we'll talk about that another day. So let's see here. That's the Allies right there. So that... Why is it moving? Sorry. Yeah, so a lot of countries are in the alliance, but they're at war with all these countries here, the Axis faction. We got Germany, we got Romania, yeah, so... Oh, Yugoslavia hasn't gotten in the war. Oh, that's crazy. And Bulgaria, huh. And Greece hasn't came into the war yet, so... Anyway... Yeah, lots and lots of stuff. So I just wanted to show you what's going on. I didn't take myself out for a date, but I did have a beer and a steak that I had here. So I had the food that I wanted to have, but I didn't go out. So anyway, you want to see other crazy... This is not a economic ninja challenge video. I just wanted to just kind of show you some of the dorky ass stuff that I... that I actually do here. So look at this, doctrines available. So it looks like we got what, naval doctrine? Yeah, here we go. We gotta get our navy up to speed here. What do we got? Another one? We got another one? Oh yeah, cheese of Pete's. Anyway, oh, my finger was in the way. Sorry about that. My lord. So what are we gonna do as United States here? Okay, so what's going on here? Oh, I was in the wrong... Yeah, so anyway. Frank's being a dork. I'm looking for... Look at all these songs here, guys. Oh, this is a good one, if you guys know this one. This is a German marching song right here. And this is actually music actually recorded back in the probably late 30s. This is probably one of the highest, like if you had a top 10, it's probably like top 1 or 2 marching songs of the German army. It's actually called Erika. Yeah, you should see this. You should read the translation of this song. It's actually quite amazing. I mean, I don't... I didn't like what the hell was going on here, but they really did a number on their population. I mean, this song talks... Basically, this is like a hometown girl, Erika, you know, and it's a guy that goes off to war, you know, thinking about his girl that he left behind at home, and he's like saying, you know, hey man, you know, keep the light on for me. But yeah, I mean... You know, this was the era of mass... To be honest, it's actually... Frank's going to say it's kind of what's going on. Well, what was going on. Mass propaganda. You know, using the common folk, twisting their thoughts and to evil thoughts. But yeah, this was the world's and the United States' last major crisis, which was about 80 years ago. So 80 years ago was 1944. So 1944, we took over this region here through Normandy. Let's see. So it's November, right? So we would have been pushing through. Actually, we probably have broke through the Maginot Line, which was non-existent, but I think they call it the Siegfried Line. So we were coming through, threatening into Germany, and guess what? Within a few weeks, in probably about what, early-ish No, I'm sorry, probably mid-December, the Germans launched the Ardennes offensive, which was known as the Battle of the Bulge. So their main thrust, they threw every last panzer division that they had at. Their idea was to swing through this Ardennes and actually take Amsterdam, which was the last deep water port. That would have really significantly hampered our war effort to end the war in the European theater. Fortunately, this guy here, George S. Patton, put a big ass monkey wrench in their plan. So yeah, but I enjoy playing this game. I need to play it more often, but yeah, guys, you can spend hours playing this game. The detail in here is absolutely amazing. But yeah, from my perspective, I'm big into history, so this is Frank just loves history, and this is if I was born, if I had a previous life, I was I was in this thing. I'm not sure at what level, but yeah, so hopefully I'm playing a past life leading these fine American troops over across the big pond so that we can liberate Europe. Yeah, you know, in Europe right now, man, they don't care about us here in America, man. We came here and fought 2 wars over here, man. You know, they should. Come on, you little Frenchies. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, Italy. Sorry, Italians. Let's see here. Turkey, they were neutral, actually. Turkey was neutral, along with Spain, although Spain was fascist at the time. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're fascist now. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure Russia's going to get into it. Iran, they were nothing in this war. Iraq, they were nobody. Saudi Arabia, they were nobody. They didn't even have that many oil resources in Saudi Arabia, which I think is funny. You know, because they have tons of it now. Actually, Russia had. This actually is still big oil refinery area here, oil production. In Baku. There's actually all sorts of oil refineries in here. That's actually why Germany in 1941, since they didn't take over Moscow during 42, that's why there was a big push here to come through the Caucasus. So Hitler and the High German Command, they actually wanted to take over all this entire central Caucasus. That's why they got stuck here in Stalingrad. They didn't only make it past these Carpathian mountain range, but they wanted these oil fields because Germany needed oil as well. I don't know. You hear a theme, and the United States had tons of oil. I mean, we still have tons of oil, guys. There's so much of it here. We pretend that we don't have it, but yeah, the German army, the 8th Army, was they got stuck here in Stalingrad, and Hitler made the mistake of telling them not to retreat. And they probably should have, because the Russians, the Soviets, I should say, they were building up their forces all along. What river is this? The Volga? I'm trying to remember what. I need to remember this damn river name. But they were building this up. They were waiting, man. They were planning a counterattack. There was actually more Soviet forces than Germans. They allowed the Germans to come all the way through here, right? So when they got stuck at Stalingrad, which was a stall holding tactic, and then when the Russians attacked, they came across and encircled Stalingrad and just basically starved these guys to death. That was kind of like the beginning of the end. It took another 2.5 years to clear this area out, and then it took them another almost 3 years to regain this entire area. Over 60% of I think it was more than 60% of the losses, like all the human losses, were in this region, which is called the Eastern Front. This is really where the war was won and fought. millions and millions and millions of Soviet and German forces were just decimated. You had Hungarian divisions, Romanian divisions, Bulgaria. I mean, basically, it's ironic. It was actually almost a crusade against the Bolsheviks. The Italians, even French forces or French people were actually inducted into the German SS, and they were all thrown at this big beast here, known as the Soviet Union. They were communistic at the time, but yeah. So anyway, you got 20 minutes of boring Frank monologue, but yeah. So this was back when men were men. We didn't care. Yeah, we weren't perfect by any means. We had our flaws. But the men that fought in this war, my lord, if we only had half the balls that they had, we'd probably be in a different shape, right? But hey, man, hopefully, by the beginning of next year, 2025, maybe we can clean up our act, right? Hopefully we can stay out of business out of these other countries, man. Let all these other countries fight their own war. That's what I say, man. You know, hey, man, Europe wants us? No, man. No, let Europe fight its own wars. Let them come crawling and begging for American intervention, right? That's how I see it. You know, even if Putin doesn't declare peace with Trump, you know, if Putin comes and takes over Europe, I'd be like, yeah, sure, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. You know, and all these little countries that have been talking smack about America, they'll be all under Russian rule, and we'll be like, yeah, we told you. Anyway, fiction and more fiction. But yeah, this game is absolutely crazy, especially with all this period music is actually just hilarious heck. Here, now you can actually hear me a little bit better. But yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah, you're like, what? You're doing this on a Friday night? Yeah. Yeah, anyway, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys know. So look. Do you guys notice anything about the flag? Come on, tell me. Come on, please, someone tell me. What is different? That flag is not our flag. Come on. What's different about it? What's different? I'll give you a hint. It's the stars. What do you notice about the stars? Do you notice anything? The pattern is different. How about that? Okay, so why is the pattern different, Frank? Well, guess what? This was during World War II. There's only 48 stars. So we were 48 states. So guess what? The 48 states is here. We call this the continental United States, right? So this was 48 states. We did own, quote unquote. So Hawaii was a territory. It wasn't a state then. And Alaska, which we actually bought from Russia. What a great real estate deal. I swear, maybe Donald Trump, maybe he lived maybe he had previous lives, because this was a great real estate deal. The only deal that was better was Manhattan Island. So here, Manhattan Island, right here. I think it was the Dutch. Was it the Dutch? I think it was the Dutch. There was Indians in this area, obviously, right? So the Dutch, they wanted this island, and the Dutch were like, hey, they were talking to these tribes here. There's a narrative. I mean, it's not wrong, but this particular history, I'm not sure if they teach this in history books anymore. But the Dutch traded the Indians for this island, and the Indians are like, "Oh, you want this island? Like, what do you get?" And then the Dutch, I don't know what the hell they gave. It was like nothing. Like, the Indians actually wanted. They were like, "Hey, this is cool stuff. We want it." And the Dutch were like, "You want this junk?" Yeah, sure. And yeah, this was probably the best real estate deal of all time. Probably rivaling The Louisiana Purchase. I don't know if again, I don't know if they teach this stuff in history, man. I'm telling you. So before, was it 1805? Like basically from like here. I don't know if you guys can see this little cursor here. So from about this area here east was like you had the 13 colonies, right? You had the 13 colonies here, right? We didn't get this until Spain. But yeah, so the New Orleans, yeah. So this was New Orleans down here, and the Louisiana Purchase was basically like this the French, this whole area, the entire prairies, all this, right? So who was it? And I think it was Napoleon. So yeah, they needed money for their wars, and Bonaparte had ideas actually over here, but then I think he ended up selling it. I might be off about that. Maybe Louis before Napoleon came into. I thought it was Napoleon, but anyway, United States got this for a steal. And if you don't know, part of Texas was its own little like country in a way. And actually, Mexico had they had like, I think, all California, portions of New Mexico, and all here. So during the American-Mexican War, there was border whatever here, and you got the Alamo, remember the Alamo? I don't know if you guys remember the Alamo. I remember the Alamo. I'm only the dork that remembers it. But anyway, United States, like, just they kicked Mexico's butt. They came all the way to New Mexico City. And they went to the halls of Montezuma. Actually, if you don't know the Marine Corps song, I know all sorts of stuff, dude. I'm telling you guys come to Uncle Frankie. But anyway, part of the, it's called I think it's the Marine, from the shores of Tripoli. Yeah, no, isn't that funny? You know where Tripoli is? Right here. So Tripoli is in Libya. And here's Tripoli. And here's the shores of Tripoli. You know why it's called the shores of Tripoli? Because during, what was it called? The Barber... There was a bunch of pirates and crap. And they were influencing trade here. There was a bunch of these pirates. And they were like, So anyway, the Marines came here and kicked ass. So anyway, that's the shores of Tripoli. From the shores of Tripoli to the from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. God damn it, I had it backwards. Sorry. So yeah, the halls of Montezuma were in Mexico City. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we took this over, and we're like, give us this area. Don't worry, we'll give you the rest of your country back. And the Rio Grande is actually pretty important, so that's why it shapes the Texas landscape there. But yeah, where was I going with this? I was going all over the place. I was teaching about history here a little bit. So anyway, 48 states. So both Hawaii and Alaska weren't states until 1959. So that's why our flag back then was 48 states. I think that one's actually beautiful. I love our flag, but this one, I don't know. I love this flag. I don't know, maybe because I'm a big World War II buff, and this generation just, they still inspire me to this day. These guys, they're not even, I don't know, there's maybe a handful of the guys that were probably in their 18, they were probably 18 in 1945, so they were probably young, even though near the end of the war. They would be over 100 years old, so most of them aren't even here. But yeah, this the generations, there probably was 4 generations. You had the old guys, old people, probably in their over 60. They were probably more the leaders of the country. Probably my generation, I think they were the lost generation. They would have been the Eisenhowers and the Pattons of, so that would be us. Yeah, that'd be Gen X. Hey man, that'd be pretty damn cool. If we were the Gen X of Patton era, that'd be pretty cool. You got the greatest generation would have been basically the men. Well, I guess ladies for that matter, because you get Rosie Riveter They were back home building all the they were building all the tanks and the fighters and the bombers and the guns. At least they did a pretty good job, you know. There wasn't too many defects. They probably wanted their men to come back, huh? Oh my god. Oh my gosh, when women wanted men. That is crazy talk, isn't it? But yeah, so they would have been in their, you know, they would have been 18, early 20s. Yeah, they were something else. You know, hopefully we can live to be half of what they did, right? Anyway, Frank signing off at the 30 minutes. I can't believe I talked about this damn game this long. Anyway, I talked about history. I was just going to show you how the game played, and then I went on a rant about history. But I could keep going on about history because, yeah, you could start talking about the Civil War, because that was the last crisis that the United States had before, and the crisis before that obviously was the War for Independence, or at least that's the way we call it. The British actually call it, because England at the time, they would have called us, they consider us traitors. So, you know, our who we call the founding fathers were domestic terrorists. Is that funny? Yeah, just a different side of the perspective. So yeah, anyway, jolly old England over here. Oh, look at Liverpool, Birmingham. Isn't that in Detroit? Yeah. Oh, look at that, Plymouth. I don't know if you guys are from Michigan. We got Plymouth. We got Birmingham. Isn't that funny? Actually, I think is it Latvia? Oh yeah, I forgot. Russia took it over. Yeah, I know. No one talks about the atrocities that the Soviet Union. Yeah, man, they butchered all these people here. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Man, they brutalized this area. You know, they always focus on, yeah, it was nasty. You know, they manufactured, you know, places for people to go nighty night. That's a nice way of saying yeah, you know what I mean. But anyway, man, these guys were brutal too, but because they won. And at the time, we needed the Soviet Union to win the war. So, yeah, the history books don't talk about it. But actually more... Stalin killed 20 million people. And that's outside of the people that died during World War II. So he killed 20 million of his own. And then actually the worst of the worst, and no one talks about it, is here in China. So, in China... And actually, what's funny is here's communist China. They were nothing. So Mao Zedong, he killed 60 million of his own people, and most of them starved during the 50s because communists. Hey, communist paradise. Now I'm gonna have that Weird Al song stuck in my head, the Amish Paradise song. But anyway, yeah. So. Yeah, this was a tragedy that happened here in Europe, but it paled in comparison to the people that died under communism in the Soviet Union. And then that was paled even more by what happened in communist China. And then if you ask me, it's still going kind of on, but yeah. So communism has killed like over 100 million people during the 20th century, and nobody talks about it, especially your liberal friends. They talk about communism and kindness. So when you hear kindness, that's a communist. If you need history, I'm telling you, people. So during the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution, that's why they call it Red October, because it happened during October. It's red because communism was red. So if you actually looked at all the Kamala Harris crap, it was all red and white. That's communist propaganda. They use the same wording. What was that? We're not going back. That's one of them. Like something about being restrained. I can't remember all that crap that Kamala was talking about. It is verbatim. I'm telling you, it's verbatim. Look into your history. You won't look at it in a normal history book. If you're looking for it in high school, they won't teach you this shit. But yeah, it's all communist. They didn't even change the colors. They didn't even change the wording. Like, and again, the ironic thing is, like, people like myself telling people, all the Americans were like the people I tried to tell, they thought I was like crap, and I'm like, oh my gosh, anyone, a student of history would know this, right? I mean, thank God my dad was old, right? My dad was from the silent generation, so I was, he was older when I was born. At least he knew what the dangers of communism was. I mean, here in the United States, we kind of had an overreaction, during the Joe McCarthy era. We kind of went overboard, but yeah, I mean, all this crap that they tried to do, it was all communist narrative. And it's so funny that they didn't even bother to look. And if they did, they would have found out. But anyway, I'm so glad. I'm so glad people around our country didn't fall for it. But I think it was basically, it wasn't necessarily that per se. I think it was just they were sick and tired. Especially a lot of men I know. I swear, it's like, if you're a white straight man, it's like you're the pit of hell. You're man. I mean, you see the reaction of what's going on with some of these ladies right now. They're like, we don't want you. It's like, oh my gosh, you don't want us anyway. Anyway, now I'm turning into a men walking away channel type of thing, and that's not what it is here. So anyway, sorry, babbling. This is the longest video I've made. It probably won't get that many views, but I wanted to show you this game. And if you guys want to see more game reviews, I have another game. It's called Baldur's Gate 3. And it's actually a role-playing game. It's actually pretty cool. It's got a good story. It's got some depth to it. It's not perfect by any means, but it's fun. What I like about it is you pay once and that's it. You don't have to pay for any DLCs, or updates or monthly subscription fees. I mean, this is the base game that I have for this game. There's all these like downloads, like content, and I just didn't buy. I might buy some of it, but I don't get to play these games as much as I want to. But anyway, just when I'll probably publish this one, so you might see this one after my one on Saturday. But you can say, oh my gosh, this is what Frank. Yeah, this is what I did. I swear, it'd be fun to play with a bunch of people playing this game. Anyway, this ain't Madden. You gotta know history. You gotta know some math. You gotta think like, all right, you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a backup plan. And then you gotta have a backup plan. You gotta have, you gotta outwit your enemies. And yeah, actually the AI in this game it's pretty good. So you can't just jump in here and just willy-nilly do something. You can't, if you're new. Actually, that's one thing. If you play this game, not that you probably will, but if you do want to play this game, and you start off, this is ironic. Start off as Germany. Yeah, you wouldn't think that. America wouldn't be too bad, but I think if you want to play this game, start off with Germany. They're a little easier because you can just focus more on the ground. I call it the ground game, right? Your armies. You don't necessarily care about the boats. I call them the boats. I'm playing America, and this is, gosh, it's so complicated with the boats. Especially playing America, you got two oceans to worry about. I just want to play it because I've been playing this game for years. I think I've had this game almost, I don't want to say 20, not quite 10 years. I've had Hearts of Iron 2, 3, and 4. So I mean, I've played different versions of it, and they've been gotten more complicated as they go. And this game has been out for almost 10 years. And they've been just adding to it like crazy. So anyway, that said, going almost on the 40-minute mark. We'll see how this goes. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to play. It's like almost 8 o'clock. It's 7:30. I don't know. When should I go to bed, guys? I don't know. I probably go to bed right around 11. No later than that, but I don't know. So anyway. Well, we're going to be building up the American infrastructure factory output. We've been doing that for a while. If Japan declares war on us, we probably have approximately 1 year. So we've been building this up. and we'll see how it goes. We've been trying to build units, but you know, we're early in the war. And to be honest with you, we still have, well, we're starting to lend lease. We have most of the new plan, or the New Deal, I'm sorry, the new plan. The New Deal that FDR had. We have most of that done here. But we gotta do some of these other... We gotta still build the Pentagon. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, alright, we gotta... The Department of Defense. Yeah, we got a lot. Yeah. I focus more on the industry, so that's probably more of a good long-term strategy. So anyway, take it easy. Have fun. Talk to you soon.